As the Hall of Famer welcomes us all back with his allergies.
Yo, that scared the living piss out of me.
Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast, y'all. A day and 20 minutes late. A day and 20 minutes late. The day was planned. The 20 minutes was not. But welcome back, y'all. We appreciate y'all coming through and joining us for the Check Swing Podcast. With myself, the brains and brawn of the situation, Coach Santa, and of course the Hall of Famer is back with us. Rob Battle is in the building. And we got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. We're gonna have a good conversation today. We hope that y'all can join us with your comments and your text messages and all that good stuff. And make sure y'all share us and hit that like button, hit the thumbs up and all that good stuff. And make sure y'all your friends and stuff are with us. And if you don't like us, just pass us along to your enemies and tell them watch this show. It'll be great. But before we get started, I gotta ask my folks how they been. So, Miguel, Rob, how y'all been, man?
I'll let the Hall of Famer go since he's been out making deals and hustling.
All right, man, hustling, taking care of the fam, man. Looking after pops, but everything's been good. Everything's been good. Getting back into the flow. It's the hot season here. Real estate, spring market, but it's all good. I'm getting back into the flow. Just joined a new gym. Got to drop these lbs.
He's working on his summer body.
I completed that Broad Street run. That was
you participated.
Yeah, that was blissful torture.
That's 10. Is it 10 miles? 10 and a half? 10? What is it? 10.2
miles. Yeah, 10 miles.
Is it the full length of Broad Street?
Not the full, because the full you would start at Cheltenham Avenue. We don't start.
Oh yeah,
we'll start. We start right by Einstein Hospital.
Oh, okay. I was
gonna
say
all the way past the stadium to the Navy Yard.
Yeah, they ain't gonna start in the black neighborhoods.
That is the black neighborhood. That's where I grew up, off of Alney Avenue.
So I've never participated in the Broad Street run, and I never plan on it, to be honest with you. I'm just keeping it real. But I am not shocked that you did it, but I know that you are. Let me adjust this a little bit. I know that you're known on this show for your cycling. So I didn't even know that you had any interest in the Broad Street run. You actually never mentioned it. So that's awesome that you did that, and you said you completed it.
No walking, no stopping.
Were you one of the people that like you running by, you grab the water, you drink and you keep it? Like were you hitting it like?
Yeah, I gotta hit the water, man. I lose so much water. I gotta hit the water. So it started as something to check off the list, right? Mm-hmm. I like to do things to say I did it. All right. I saw it as a big event. I'm like, man, I should try it once. And plus, it's something that I hate. I hate running. So I really just wanted to challenge myself to see if I could do it. And my best friend, he does it every year, right? So we did it together last year. So this year is my second year. We did it together. And I remember I was talking last year. I was like, yeah, this will be my first and last. He's like, well, why would it be your last? And somehow I got roped into this being something we do together each year somehow. So,
oh, wow.
He completed.
But this was your first time?
Huh?
This was your first one?
This was number 2.
Oh, this was your second? Okay, so you did it last year.
Both times I ran it too damn heavy, damn near 300 pounds.
And you 300 pounds?
You might as well. You round it.
Oh, that's right, because I forgot you're tall. Like, I forget you.
But I just keep the feet moving, slow pace. I had a realtor, this girl I know who's a realtor. I'm looking at her pace. She running like 9-10 minute miles. She come running past me. Hey, Rob. I'm like, I'll see you at the finish line.
Hold on. He said You just threw me for one, Rob. You said she's running about a 9-10 minute mile, and then you said she passed me.
My joint was like 14.
That's how you finish the brush.
I'm not keeping up with that pace, yo. That's a little too. My daughter's teacher, she's in 5th grade. She ran it. The small white lady. I'm like, so I saw her Friday. I said, hey, Peyton told me you ran the run. She's like, yeah. I said, oh, what did you finish? She was like 108. I was like, what's that?
Where'd you finish?
It's like a 6-minute, 50-second mile. I was like, shh.
What was your final time? I guess what was
I finished in 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's 12 minutes off of last year.
How long did they give you the finish?
I don't know. I think maybe like 4 or 5 hours or so. I think until 12. I think until 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, the race starts around like everybody's off because there's a lot of people you got, and everybody don't start at the same time just to keep the group. So I think everybody's off by like 7:45. So I think until 12 or 1 o'clock you got to finish.
I would probably get there by about 11:55.
You could walk it. You could walk it and still get, like, if you get a good pace walk, you can walk a 13-minute, like if you power walk.
I'd be better off running because walking fast.
So wait a minute.
I'm 5'4". So walking fast and me is not.
It starts at Einstein, so that's the Olney station and on the Broad Street subway. So what if I alternate
a little bit before that? So right by the Central's field.
Right our mortal enemies field.
Yeah.
So what do they allow you to split the difference? Like maybe take like 2 subway stops and then walk a mile and then like 3 subway stops? Because that's the way I can do it.
You can do whatever you want. You gotta look yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
And I will look proudly in the mirror as I get up and walk up the North Philly station. Yes, absolutely.
So let's go ahead and move on. We got some stuff we want to tackle today. We got a lot of things, man. So we know that the Sixers got the 3rd pick in this year's NBA draft. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I have some feelings about that. The Eagles, the NFL schedule has come out, and we're gonna go through the what we do every year. We make our predictions every year. It's become a tradition here on this show. So we're gonna make our predictions for the Eagles this year. I'm going to bet, and I have not looked at the schedule to analyze it yet. I'm going to bet that I do not have the Eagles winning 13 games again this year, as I have last 4.
Liar.
Yeah, you will.
And, I just go through a pick, and it just ends up that way that they win 13 games in my picks because I don't like to pick against them.
I'm going to start keeping like a digital record of this. I think the last 3 seasons in a row, you've picked like the first 12 games to go undefeated. Like, you know what I mean?
So last year I didn't, but I do think like 2 years ago I did. I think like 2 years ago I was like, yeah, they're going to win that. They're going to win. And I was like, you know what? I need them to lose somewhere, so I'm going to just pick this one for them. It's hard for me to pick against my team. It really is. But, I'm going to try to do that this year and see how it works out. But the big news for the sports fans out there, for people that are in the sports and for people that are into baseball, Pete Rose has become eligible for the Hall of Fame. As a lot of people know, about 30 years ago, he became ineligible for baseball's Hall of Fame due to a lifetime ban due to his gambling activities while the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. And there's been a lot of talk around, they were trying to petition for him to get into the Hall of Fame while he was still alive. And we know that he passed away, what was it, last year or earlier this year?
Last September.
And in September, he passed away. And now he's eligible. They have lifted the ban, I guess. When you think about it, lifetime ban, his lifetime is over. So I guess he would be eligible now when you think about it. But we can get into that. But I want to ask you guys your thoughts on Pete Rose now being eligible for the Hall of Fame, but it wouldn't happen until like 2027. Let's put that out there now. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on it and everybody else's thoughts on it as well. Hit us up in the chat. Let us know what you think. But Miguel, I'm gonna start with you. Your thoughts on Pete Rose being eligible for the Hall of Fame, and should he be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, the conundrum. Well, you know that I've been always mixed about the whole Pete Rose saga. What I think obviously helps him is that he's got the most hits in the history of the game. Played 25 years, named Charlie Hustle. You know, he was a guy you absolutely hated but loved him when he was on your team. He was there to help the Phillies win their first World Series when I was born. All that stuff. But the conundrum is, and I don't know how many people have seen it, but there was a Netflix documentary on Pete Rose where he pretty much did most of the talking on it. It was like a 4-part series. I don't think it really put him in the greatest of light because he came off arrogant and brash, and especially when it came to an allegation that is now at the time was starting to prove true, that he had an affair with a 14-year-old and got her pregnant. And when it was addressed to him during like a Phillies event, he was like, who cares what happened 30 or 40 years ago? It doesn't, it's not even relevant. And that just didn't paint him in the greatest of light. And I know that there are probably the same quality of scumbags that are in the Hall of Fame now, some racists, some murderers and stuff like that. And I know they've been trying to fix the integrity of the game, but it's like they shoot themselves in the foot by the decisions that they make. You know what I mean? And I think I made this argument a couple years ago when we were talking about it. I would put him in the Hall as a player, but obviously not as a manager, because the manager is where all the gambling really, that's where he was caught gambling, is when he was in his managerial time. So,
let me interrupt you for a quick second to ask you a question about what you just said, because I truthfully don't really know, but I'm figuring you probably will. Would you have considered him a Hall of Fame manager?
No.
Okay.
No, because there isn't enough. He was only a manager for about 5 years before he got caught, and actually he was a player manager the first 2 seasons when he returned back to Cincinnati, because his goal was to become the hit king in Cincinnati. And I think he was a player manager for like 2 years and then a manager for like another 2 years after that. So there's not like a whole body of work.
Okay.
And a matter of fact, his last season was 89 when he got banned. And then the next year, Lou Piniella took over and the Reds won the World Series. So.
Sure enough. Rob, your thoughts on that, being a Hall of Famer yourself? Your thoughts on Pete Rose getting into the Hall of Fame, or possibly getting into the Hall, now being eligible?
I think since there aren't any clear guidelines of just what's the clear guidelines of getting into the Hall of Fame? Right? Are we taking in consideration character and play, or is it for play? Because if it's for play, then I haven't heard anybody say it's because of character, but they seem to keep people out of certain Hall of Fames because of character. But if you're going to do that, then put that in the guidelines so people know as they're going through their career. But if you ask right off the bat, I would say put him in. I felt like the ban should have been lifted. If he showed, it's weird because correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. You guys know better than me. Is Alex Rodriguez, is he banned for life?
No.
Nobody in the steroid era is banned. But the problem is, and I think we talked about this before, it's based on the sports writers' votes, and you have to get like 75% of the vote to get in. Because even that, there's like a certain, like, I guess, hypocritical standard or oath, and it was the reason why, like, when Derek Jeter was elected to the Hall of Fame, there was one voter that kept it unanimous just because they didn't want it to be unanimous. It's like,
here's my thing. I think what those guys did in terms of steroids and PEDs is worse. Or am I tripping? If I'm betting, if I wind up betting on my game, let's say they said no sports betting, but I decided I want to bet that my team's going to win every night. Is that worse than somebody I was playing against taking performance enhancement drugs to cheat?
In my opinion, Rob, no, that is not worse. In my opinion, it's
that's
not
what
worse.
I'm saying. So these guys aren't banned for life, but Pete Rose never bet against his own team. I'm not saying it was right. That was the rule. You can't bet. But, and now we're looking at a joint where a time where it's all legal now. So we're like,
and that's where the hypocrisy kind of comes in. Now, you know, they're freaking building a fan do lounge here at Camden Yards. You know what I mean?
But technically,
isn't there an arena named after one of these? Is it like DraftKings Arena or something?
Yeah.
Miguel, technically, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The athletes, the baseball players, are still not allowed to bet to this day, correct? Because Shohei Ohtani, that whole situation, like Shohei was about to be in some real trouble, because if they figured out that it came from him.
So they will allow you to bet on other sports, and you cannot, like, you can even bet on your sport, but just not like at your level. So like if you bet on like minor league games, stuff like that, but you cannot place a bet on your team, whether you're betting on your team to win or to lose, because obviously that it kind of goes
of interest.
Now, so another historical aspect of this is that there's also 16 other players that were ineligible that are now eligible, and the 16 players were part of this. This was the reason why this ban came to fruition, because prior to 1918, gambling was an open secret. You used to be able to spit on the baseball. You can put shoe shine, like shoe polish on the baseball. You can cheat your behind off, basically. So it was looked at as like a slummy kind of game. So to clean it up, they didn't even have a commissioner until I believe 1920. So there was no commission. There was just a committee of like owners and stuff like that. So there's a story. It's famously called 8 Men Out. So basically, these 8 men were tired of getting shortchanged by the owner of the Chicago White Sox. So they came together, and they were one of the most winningest franchises in I guess from like 1915 to like 1918. They were a high level franchise, won championships every year, every other year. But the owner was so cheap, he would kind of stiff them on like their World Series bonuses. He charged the players to wash their own clothes, like stuff. He did nickel and dime and stuff like that. So they did.
He was Don King in them,
pretty much. So these 8 players conspired to actually throw an entire World Series, and they commingled with a gang, a local Chicago gang affiliate, and they actually didn't even appear in court for that particular World Series until like 2 years later. But of the 8 players, there's actually a famous book and a movie that was out in the 80s called 8 Men Out. There was actually 2 players that actually, one of them did not partake in the cheating, but he still was banned because he didn't report. And then there was another player who actually, which is Shoeless Joe Jackson, he's probably the most famous in that time. He was pretty much the right-handed Babe Ruth before Babe Ruth became famous. He actually was illiterate and could only sign things in X's and had his wife do all his paperwork for him. Even though he partook in the betting or the cheating on the field, he still performed like he normally did. So there was a famous court case. They were actually found not guilty from like the local court, but they decided to come together and have a commissioner. And the commissioner decided that due to the lack of integrity of the game, anybody caught betting will be banned for life. Anybody who sees the betting and doesn't report it will be banned for life. And anybody that hears or sees anything and doesn't report it will be banned for life. So
what you're telling me is that the Pete Rose ruling actually stems from what was put together back in that scandal.
Right.
So basically Pete Rose being banned for life was actually part of that. Wasn't a new punishment. That was actually
it was not a new punishment. It was actually to the letter of the law. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that the other thing that doesn't help Pete Rose's case is that he lied about it for 25 years. He said, I never bet a dime on baseball and was on TV, And then came the betting slips and then, the rumors of, making, like there was telephone records of him actually making bets before, during, and after games. So that didn't help. But for him to lie about it so hard for 25 years, and then when he even admitted it, it was kind of like, well, yeah, so what I did, but it was part of it.
I'll tell you what. I'm not mad that he lied about it for so long because he was basically trying to get himself in the hole. He's trying to clear his name of what couldn't be cleared, right? So I'm not really like a lot of people hold that against that he lied about it for so long.
But for 25 years, and for like Mike Schmidt, for instance, Mike Schmidt like practically worshipped Pete Rose and always had his back and backed him up and said he should be in the Hall of Fame. And when he found out that he lied, he's like, he was taken aback. So I'm sure that kind of ruined the relationship. And he still would say like he should be in the Hall, but it was never like that with the same passion, so to speak.
So there's a quote from a TV show, one of my favorite TV shows growing up, Martin. Some of y'all may have heard of it. There's a quote in Martin in one episode of Martin where he says, "Keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive." That's what he says. So that's what Pete Rose was doing. He was keeping the lie alive. I'm not saying he believed he didn't do it, but he wanted you to believe he didn't do it. So if a lot of times people say if you lie long enough, it becomes the truth to you. Right? It doesn't become the truth, but it becomes the truth to you. But anyway, I'm not here to argue about. I'm not arguing. He did it. It came out. I'm in agreement with Rob that the Hall of Fame is what you do on the field, what you do on the court, what you do in the press box, whatever. That's what the Hall of Fame is. If you want to put guidelines of what your personal behavior should be to be eligible for a Hall of Fame, then there probably should be the guidelines of what your personal behavior should be to be a professional athlete. Because let's be honest, even though he ain't do it, OJ's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, but
this guy's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a thug. My man that would play tight end for the New England Patriots that killed some people and went to jail for it. You have some unsavory characters in all of professional sports. You got some guys in hockey last year that were accused of some sexual assaults from I guess like it was about 6 years ago or so.
Yeah, it was.
So you have unsavory characters all throughout life. Like professional sports is not exempt from unsavory characters, right? It just so happens that these people are exceptional in sports.
They pick and choose who they want to turn the blind eye to. Like, it was messed up that T.O. wasn't the first ballot Hall of Famer. Dude is second, right behind Jerry Rice.
I agree.
Like, they talking about, oh, he was what is this Skip Bayless was calling him?
Audio, I don't know
whatever. Who
cares? You still hear him, Miguel?
Yeah.
Okay, but okay, so y'all lost my audio.
Like, who cares?
It's on me.
He's a locker room. He destroyed the team. Nobody cares, bro. The dude made the catches. He scored the touchdowns. He ran the yards.
And it's the same thing. And I complained on this show for years about Dick Allen, who's finally in the Hall of Fame, of course, 2 years after his death.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the reason why is because he was the first black superstar in Philadelphia, with all the white writers bashing him because he wasn't your typical, yes, sir, I'm going to do this. Or it's like, no, he called out the racism. He called out the bigotry. He says, no, I'm not a step and fetch it. I'm not doing that. To the point where, he leaves Philadelphia and he's literally the first athlete that you can technically say was apologized to because he came back towards the end of his career. They asked him to come back out of retirement to help the Phillies compete again, and was directly involved in the development of Mike Schmidt when he was young. Mike Schmidt credits him with getting him over the top in his career because of his attitude, his feelings about the game, and he taught him how to actually play and have fun.
Yeah, they baseball has a lot of work to do. All right, baseball has a lot of work to do.
It does, and even like this Manfred, the current commissioner, it's like he has like things on a platter for him and he just manages to muff it up. He made a comment about the specific rule about somebody passing away. He says, and I quote, "In my view, once an individual has passed away, the purpose of Rule 21 has been served." So Rule 21 is the rule about
lifetime
being
ban.
banned. Right.
Okay.
I said, obviously, a person no longer with us cannot represent a threat to the integrity of the game. Moreover, it is hard to conceive of a penalty that has a more deterrent effect than one that lasts a lifetime with no reprieve.
So I'm not going to act like I understood with the statement. I'm not going to understand like I understood every word of it, but I kind of agree that if it's a lifetime ban and your lifetime is over, the ban is also over, unless you're talking about somebody else's lifetime. Like, it's the lifetime of who?
Right.
We have a comment. Here we go. Coach Ryan Hunter says lifetime means life. Death ends the life sentence. Agreed. Yeah, because you know what? And it's funny saying we're going to move on. There have been people. Hold on. I just want to look at this. I'm going to look at that picture.
I just noticed that too.
There are people in jail that get sentenced to prison for life and have consecutive life sentences where a lot of times people serve sentences concurrently.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people serve them consecutively. And there have been people in prison who have been serving consecutive life sentences, which would mean if they died and came back, they would have to go back to jail. Like consecutive life sentences.
I don't even understand. What does that mean? I don't even understand what that means. Consecutive life sentences. How do you have more than one life sentence?
Just in case.
Life is life. Life is life.
There is a very famous book that talks about this guy that died and came back 3 days later. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this book, but that's for a whole nother show. But it's a very popular book. It's in every hotel in the United States. Let's move on, and we're going to talk a little football. Right, let's talk a little football, y'all. I know we're a ways away from the season starting, but I don't think we're too far away from the from like OTAs and stuff, right? I think the rookie camps have started and all like that. But here's the thing. The schedule came out today, y'all. And you know, it is a tradition on this show that we pick, we predict what the Eagles are going to do because we are Eagles fans on this show. We make no bones about it. We will criticize them. We will show them love, but we are fans.
And to piggyback off of the tradition, usually Justin will pick.
Getting to our predictions.
Justin usually picks them to win the 13 games.
The first game of the season. The schedule came out, and the first game of the season, the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champions. Let me put that out there again. Defending Super Bowl champions are going to play the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there right here, like this right here. It is going to be amazing and fun and such a wonderful thing to have your Super Bowl, whatever they do in football, in front of the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones and their fans and all like that, right? The fans probably won't turn the game on until they know it's football time. But the Cowboys, in my opinion, and I'll ask y'all to correct me if I'm wrong, as I usually do. Cowboys did not deserve to be in this game. They gotten to this game off of name recognition alone, right? Off of fan base alone. Because I have no idea why else outside of ratings, right? Because they're going to watch. They didn't deserve to be in this game. Guys, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Go ahead.
I think they deserved it for the simple fact that they can get pounded on national television.
So that's not a deserving. That's more of a you're looking forward to. You're looking forward to that first game.
Absolutely.
I got you. I got you.
To the point that I'm gathering, I sent an email to all my Cowboys fans that I know at my job. Say, hey, let's get together and watch it. Watch your team get pounded.
See, here's the thing. And I'm going to put this out there because I don't feel like I'm wrong, right? Usually for the first 3 to 5 games of the season, the Dallas Cowboys are pretty good. Usually, right? We know last year they only won like 4 games, which how do they get this game? They won 4 games. Anyway, I don't like the fact that we're getting them. I don't like the fact that we're getting them in the first game because they're usually good. Let's see the Cowboys after they usually fall off, right? They usually fall off by like week 4, 5, 6, whatever the case may be. But I mean, look, you could have had the Rams. That was a big game, rematch of the semifinals.
Washington.
You could have had the Commanders, rematch of the conference finals. You could have had the Lions, a game that a lot of people were looking forward to seeing, Eagles and Lions. You could have had that as your kickoff game. I think the NFL dropped the ball. I mean, for them, no, they didn't because it's going to get ratings.
Yeah,
but they dropped the ball because they could have had a real marquee. This is not a marquee matchup. You could have had a marquee matchup in week 1.
Didn't they used to have the Super Bowl rematch as the first game of the year a couple seasons in a row in the past?
So quite possibly, but here's what I'm going to say about that because the NFL schedule is kind of almost set. You know what I mean? So like I remember in 2017, and I remember this. I'll let y'all know why I remember this after the show. I remember very specifically in 2017 was the Chiefs and the Patriots. So I know that wasn't a Super Bowl rematch, but I do. Right. But that was 2 marquee teams.
All right.
And I don't remember who was the defending champion at the time. I feel like it might have been the Patriots, and I think the Chiefs boat raced them in that game, if I remember correctly. Last year, I don't remember who the Chiefs played last year, but it's always a marquee game. It hasn't always been a Super Bowl rematch, but it's always been a marquee game. And I'm just going to put this out there because people might think I'm whining. Cowboys get too many Thursday games. They get too many Thursday games. Okay. The reason they get too many Thursday, I mean, not the reason, but the reason I feel like they get too many Thursday games. I want you to, y'all can do it on your own time. We know they get Thanksgiving every year, right? So a lot of times they get the Thursday before Thanksgiving. A lot of times they always get Thanksgiving, and then a lot of times they get the Thursday after Thanksgiving. It has happened. Mm-hmm. So the Cowboys, the NFL really lines them up to make something happen, and they blow it. But how biased can we get? I'm going to pick my feet up and let y'all have the floor for a little bit on this one while we get ready to make our predictions. Go ahead, y'all.
I think that, you're right in the fact that do they deserve to play their game? No. Will it be a huge crowd, will you get huge viewership from that game? Absolutely. For the NFL. So, that's really what it is always for the Cowboys. Even every year, it's like they're not good, but people like to see them. Jerry Jones gets on there and talks and stirs the pot up, and they're content with just making a lot of money with their franchise. They're not getting close to any winning. So I do think that the Super Bowl rematch would be cool. Any of those rematches would have been cool. The Redskins, the Chiefs, or like you said, the matchup that people were hoping to see that didn't, like Detroit. That could have been. That all could have been. Those are all viable options that I think would have made for a really great game.
And I just want to state that, and we'll show it in just a little bit. All those teams you just mentioned, the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Lions, are on the Eagles schedule this year. So they could have made it happen. They could have made it happen. Mm-hmm. Do we want to get into some predictions real quick? Do we want to do that, or did you want to speak on this, Miguel?
Yeah, we can do the predictions. Let's do that.
All right, so here we go. This is the Eagles schedule released today. We found out last week that they would be playing the Dallas Cowboys Thursday Night Football first week of the season. All right. So I'm looking at this, just glancing real quick. They have 2 Thursday night games. They have a Black Friday game, some Sunday nights, and some Monday nights. Of course, as they should, because they are defending champions, so they're going to be playing on prime time. Let's go through this real quick. Y'all can shoot us y'all predictions as well in the chat. Week 1, guys. Week 1, I already know we did this before. I already know how we go.
It's a W.
None of us really ever picked them losing to the Cowboys. So are we? Yeah. Okay. We're all picking the Cowboys. Almost threw up. We're all picking the Eagles. almost yacked over here.
Swallow before you speak.
Chew it back. No diddy. Week 2, Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs. I got text messages coming in all crazy.
Out of here. Our boy Hurts outplay him every game, so I'm going with another W.
You're going 2-0. Chiefs, Eagles over the Chiefs. Miguel.
So you know how I feel about the beginning of the seasons, right?
Yeah.
Because usually if they fumble, usually when the Eagles fumble, they fumble early. And last year they were 2-2, and we were calling for Sirianni's head. And for the record, I still want him fired because
not we. I wasn't.
Shut up your face. but I still and people called for him to be fired, including myself. I still want him fired because it's the accent. He sounds like he's always trying to order a sandwich. So I'm gonna go loss only because of history.
Okay, so he's going history. I'm going that they win that game too, because I don't know how strong the Chiefs are actually going to be coming off that loss. Everybody's getting older. Jason Kelce looked real old. excuse me, Travis Kelce looked real old in that Super Bowl. So, but he also has CJ GJ and guarding him. So,
and he looked like the third generation Mo from the Three Stooges too.
He did
the bowl cut like that.
He did. He definitely did. He looked like Shemp.
Yes, he looked like Shemp. Yes, he did.
Hey, what's up, youngin? What's up, youngin?
Say go birds. Yell at the top of your lungs. Wake up everybody and say go birds.
AGLES.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Right, don't you forget it. We're going to move on to week 3. We're going to move on to week 3. LA Rams, the Eagles, the LA Rams come to town. Oh, you know what? Did I get my prediction on week 2? I got the Eagles winning week 2.
Yeah, you said it 3 times actually, but go ahead.
All right, well, put it down for me 3 times. Week 3, I'm going to go first with this one. I have the Eagles falling in this one.
Ooh.
I have the Eagles falling in this one at home to the Rams.
You think momentum from the first 2 games will catch up to them? You think?
Well, you know,
that's the classic letdown game.
That's the game that's like, you know, the Rams have been, it's like the 49ers all over the game. The Rams have been talking since they lost. They lost, you know what I mean? And, you know, for whatever reason, or maybe this happens all the time to good teams and I just don't know it because I'm not used to the Eagles being good. But we beat the Niners and the Niners cried about it the whole offseason. We beat the Rams cried about it the whole offseason. I don't know what it is about these California teams, but they got to chill. Y'all being very avocado-ish over there, okay? Y'all being very avocado-ish. Okay. So, you know, I gotta watch what I say because I know there's youngins around, but you're being very avocado-ish over there. But I do think they come into Philadelphia and get the revenge. And the Eagles lose that game. I'll just leave it at that so we can keep moving.
Sir Rob, who do you have? What do you have?
Well, listen, I can save you guys the breath. I looked at the schedule. I'm seeing. I know this is not like me.
Rob got him going undefeated.
First 6 games is 6-0, in my opinion.
He said, so we ain't even got to ask him no more.
He said the first row. He said the first row is all W. Got it.
First row. He said, holla at him in week 7. All right, gotcha. Cool. All right, so let's move on to week 4 in Tampa Bay. Miguel, I'll let you go ahead and pick. Oh, wait, you didn't pick week 3 yet, Miguel. I'm sorry.
I got a W for the Eagles.
Okay, so I'm the only one looking like the bad guy here. Okay. Week 4, Miguel in Tampa Bay. I know. I know.
Because we tend to have a cluster of fluff down there. We tend to,
and we always play them early.
And we always play them early. It's always like hot, and they play like they have broomstick buttholes. So I'm gonna say that they squeak this one out, and they win this one.
Okay. All right. And I do want to say that a lot of people don't remember this, but the year before last, the Eagles spanked the Buccaneers. It was a Monday night game. Mike Evans didn't have a good game. They probably shouldn't have spanked them, but Mike Evans dropped like 2 touchdowns in that game, and we kind of smoked them.
Then they was that the same year they had the revenge against us and whooped up on
the playoffs after we lost like 22 straight games, and then we had to go down there and play them.
Right.
Yeah, we were not supposed to win that game. Like, we stunk by that time. But I believe in this game. I believe the Eagles will win this game. I do not believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know what kind of offseason acquisitions they may have made, but I don't believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I don't think you should either. I got the Eagles winning this one. I'm with you and Rob on this one. Week 5, the Denver Broncos come to town, as you can see there. Denver Broncos come to town. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I think we beat the Broncos. Miguel, we already know what Rob said.
I'll go W.
Okay. Week 6, Giants come to town. Do we really? I'm sorry. We go to the Giants. Do we really gotta? Like,
I will go W across the board.
I'm looking at the schedule, right? I'm just noticing something. 1, 2. We do not have back-to-back home games in this season, but we have
we do. Yes, we do.
Where there's back-to-back away games.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Green is home, right? Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, we don't have any. We don't have any back-to-back home games.
Well, yeah, I guess because Super Bowl champ has a tougher schedule. That's what makes it tougher. Got it.
And we got first place schedule. Is what it is. Giant. I think we're across the board. I think everybody watching the show ever in any time realm is picking the Eagles over the Giants on a Thursday night, and there'll probably be a blackout game. No, it's in the Meadowlands. It'll probably be a blackout game because we'll probably take over. Week 7, Rob is back in the mix. Week 7 against the Vikings. I'm gonna let Rob go first because he said up until week 6 he hasn't won it. So week 7, what you got?
I see that as the typical letdown game. So I'm gonna go with a tough loss at home.
No, that's a road game.
I thought you said the Gray was at home.
Gray is road.
Okay.
Is road,
yeah, Green. I said Green was home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green so yeah, I got that. That's an L.
He says that's an L. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call that a W. We had the Vikings number for a while now, and I say it continues. I got them with the W there. Miguel,
I got an L too. Same reason. Just it reeks of letdownness.
Letdown. Okay, all right. And then they go back. They come back home to play the Giants. I have them beating the Giants again right before the bye. I don't think they look ahead to the bye and go on vacation the week before because it's the Giants, even though it could be a factor. A lot of young guys on that team. I say they still squeak out a win against the Giants in that. Miguel, what say you on that?
I say win, and I also say blowout, and it'll be a 2-week bye.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying the starters come out by or before the fourth quarter?
Correct.
Gotcha. Rob, how you seeing that one in week 8? He's got him. We all got him winning in that one. The bye week, I got to figure out what I'm going to do that week. And then after the bye, they travel to Green Bay to play them crybabies on. Is that a Sunday night game? I can't really see what that says, but I'm going to go ahead and.
They're going to play the Packers of Green Bay.
The Packers of Green Bay. They're going to have to kick an oblong object through a big H. And in week 10, it's not going to be that cold. I mean, it's going to be cold, but it's not going to be that cold in Green Bay at night. Mm-hmm. But it's still Green Bay. Miguel, what do you have in that one?
So I know the Green Bay has played us tough, and I think the last couple of meetings, and I think either game could have gone either way, and I think we've gotten the best of them in that situation. I think this year they have our number. I will call that an L.
Ooh, okay. Rob, what you say on that one?
I'm going with the dub.
Rob's going with the dub. I'm also going to go with the dub on that one. I feel like our defense gives Jordan Love nightmares. I feel like they give him nightmares, and he will continue to have nightmares. And what's my man's name? Jalen Carter and Cooper, the rookie Cooper, Jordan Davis. I think they're gonna have some fun that day on that Sunday night game after the bye, refreshed. And then they come home to play who everyone probably wanted them to play in week 1, the Detroit Lions, with, correct me if I'm wrong, new offensive and defensive coordinators. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about week 11, they can have it figured out. Rob, I'll start with you. How do you see that game going?
Packers. We beating the Packers.
No, we're week 11, Lions.
Wait, where were we at? 11 Lions.
At home.
At home.
Sunday night.
Man, where am I at? Did I pick the Packers?
You actually did. You said you thought we were on Green Bay, but you actually already said that you picked them out. You picked the Eagles to win against Green Bay.
I hate making it look like I'm picking the undefeated season. I'm gonna go. I'm on my Justin joint right now.
You got your one L in there. That counts for something. I mean, what was the Eagles' record last year?
We're good after the bye, so yeah, I'm going with Green Bay. I'm gonna go with. I don't see Detroit having the firepower to beat us. I'm going to say we're going to win that game, and I'm going to, yeah.
Miguel, what you say? Come on now, you had a long time. Think about it now. Come on.
Shut up your face. Okay, I'll do a W2 because a W2. I will do a W as well.
Okay. All right. I don't think the Lions are going to be as strong as they were last year. And I'm also going to pick a dub in this one. Oh Lord. I think I got the Eagles going 16-1. Oh Lord.
So you and Rob have the exact same schedule, have the exact same record right now.
Yeah. So week 12, going to Dallas. Miguel, I'll let you go first on this one. What say you on this?
See, a season sweep against the Cowboys is always a challenge to pick. I don't think Pickens is going to be the difference maker, man. He's one of the whinier receivers, you know. Mm-hmm. I'll keep it as a dub.
Rob, what you got on this one?
Where are we at? 12, right?
Yep, Cowboys in Dallas.
You know what? I'm gonna say we split that one.
Ooh.
On the road at Jerry World, Dallas finds a way to pull one out.
It really depends on one thing, though. Will Dak be playing by then? If he's not playing and they have a backup quarterback in, I think we feast.
Oh, I forget. He's still hurt. What's wrong with him again?
Well, he should be good. He should be good by the beginning of the season. But what's wrong with him is he plays for the Cowboys. That's what's actually wrong.
That's the real.
By week 12, and if he is in by week 12, we get interceptions. So with that being said, week 12, I have the Eagles going down to Dallas and squeaking one out. I believe that's the squeaker. Squeaking one out. So what I have them at, like 10-1 right now.
I'm not saying we're gonna go through the entire freaking damn schedule, and then I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. So we're going to Black Friday against the Bears, who were just terrible last year.
Yeah, I'm not picking the Bears.
I'll go first on this one. They're at home on Black Friday. They're going to win this game. The Bears are going to be angry because they can't be home on Thanksgiving or whatever the case may be. Eagles win this game on Black Friday. Rob said he's not picking the Bears, so he's already picked the Eagles. He's not picking the Bears. What if we was in Chicago and we had to make this schedule and pick this? Rob was like, I'm not picking the Bears for any of these games. Miguel, what you got in this one?
There's not enough lip gloss or sugar Tootsie Rolls for me to pick the Bears. I got Eagles.
Got Eagles. All right. Chargers. We go to the Chargers for is that a Monday night game? We go to the Chargers on a Monday night. Mini bye week, right? Mini kind of almost
extended. It's like a 2-day extended. Yeah.
Thank you. That extended. That was better. I'll let Rob go first on this one. Week 14 in San Diego. Jim Harbaugh. Is it Jim? Yeah, Jim Harbaugh at the with the headset on. Justin Herbert at quarterback. What do you say, Rob?
We're not losing. We're not losing on Monday night under the lights. I got faith in Jalen Hurts, proving that he's the better quarterback once again.
Okay. Miguel?
I will have that as an L.
Ooh.
Going to the West Coast. Not that really matters that much, but I don't know. I think the Chargers are going to be a sleeper team this year.
Okay. I think the Chargers are going to be pretty good this year. I have a hard time picking the Eagles to lose to the Chargers because the Eagles rarely lose to I don't know when the last time the Eagles lost to the Chargers, to be honest with you. I can remember, well, it doesn't matter. So I'm on a Monday night after a Black Friday game, I say the Eagles go out to San Diego. Oh, no, they're not San Diego anymore, right? They go out to LA.
LA.
And they beat the LA Chargers. I got them winning that. And I'll go first on this one. I got them beating the Raiders at home. Miguel?
Yes, Raiders. Beating the Raiders at home.
Beating Raiders at home. Rob?
At home.
Rob ain't picking the Raiders.
Yeah.
You ain't picking Rob. You ain't picking them.
You ain't picking the Raiders.
You ain't picking the Raiders, Rob.
Hey, who's the quarterback?
You ain't picking the Raiders, right?
You're not picking the Raiders.
You know, I don't even know who the quarterback is. Right? I was about to say Derek Carr, but he just retired from the Saints, so I don't even know who the quarterback is for the Raiders right now.
That's a win. That's a win at home.
Okay.
For the record, the Raiders quarterback is Aiden O'Connell.
Oh God.
Yeah, he sounds like he should be an actor.
And the backup is Gardner. I keep saying Gardner. Gardner Minshew was the backup.
Well, Gardner Minshew might be playing by week 15.
I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have them drop in week 10.
Say it again.
I'm gonna have them drop in week 10. Redskins coming out with a chip on their shoulder. They playing at home. You know,
week 10.
I see the Redskins, not 10, 16. Sorry.
Hold on, man. You're okay. I got you. Hold on.
I need glasses, man. I need glasses. Both of y'all, I just haven't went and gotten them. I need to go get my prescription filled out here.
You gotta go pick them Jones up.
It look like a zero.
It does.
I see why. And they right on top of each other.
Now I see why he's sitting that way. I'm thinking he's just tall. He can't see. Keep looking down, squinting.
So Rob has Washington winning this game. Miguel, what say you in this game?
I will take the L as well.
Damn, y'all trying to be like me. Stop trying to be on my team. I'm also picking Washington in this game. Week 17 in Buffalo. Miguel, what say you?
I'm gonna go L.
Rob? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miguel.
No. I think this might be a tough rut to close out the season, but a necessary tough rut.
Rob?
It's always hard these last weeks, depending on the record. If the record that I pick, they probably don't even need these two things.
Yeah, this the tough part, especially when you pick them to win a lot of games. It's the tough part.
I'm gonna go with another win, only because I'm liking what I see from Jalen as far as a competitor, and I see him wanting to continue to prove that he's the better quarterback.
Gotcha. I'm going to go with the L in this one. They're going to Buffalo in December, late December, if not January. I think that's December. Cold, man. I don't know if a lot of these players have played in the cold like that before, right? Not that it really, football is football, but a lot of our youngins come from down south, and they never came that far up north to play football, right? Especially in the cold. So, be that as it may, Saquon may have a little chip on his shoulder because he should have been the MVP last year in my opinion. Josh Allen played well, but I thought he was a little hyped up last year. I mean, he did play well. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was a little hyped, but I do have the Eagles losing this game to Buffalo in Buffalo. And then we roll over to week 18 against the Commanders. This is what the NFL wanted. They wanted to see the Commanders and the Eagles possibly playing for first place in the NFC East. And I'll start with Rob on this one. I'm starting with Rob because I know he's like, they may not need this game. I don't know if I want to pick him, but I don't want to pick against them. So that's why I wanted to start with Rob. I wanted to see him struggle on this.
This is a throw up, man. Who cares?
That's why I started with you on this one, man.
Who cares, man?
The people. The people. Do you know who cares? All of us on this show, because we're going to refer back to this later on in the season and say, yeah, you had such and such winning this game.
I'm gonna go. I gotta ride with that. They're gonna win that game. I think I probably just did a 13-13 win.
I think you just did a 15-2 out this bad boy.
But I got 2 losses.
I have the Eagles winning this final game of the season against the Commanders. Miguel, what say you for this final game?
I got a W.
So what's the tally come to, Miguel?
Okay. Damn, that's in order. So Justin has the Eagles going 14-3.
Damn, I did it again.
You did it again. 30 years. Yeah. Rob, the Hall of Famer. Rob has the slightly under 13-4. And
4 losses? I don't even remember picking 4 losses.
I know. And then I don't know why I've done this every year. I have them going 11-6.
Dang, we got 6 losses. Dang.
You know what's crazy? I feel like 12-13 wins the NFC, or it gives you the first number 1 seed in the NFC.
In this season? Probably, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the NFC is going to be very competitive. I mean, you got the Rams looking good. Of course, you got the Eagles. You got Washington looking good. Let's not forget Dallas won the NFC East 2 years ago. Okay, let's not forget that did happen. The Lions could be.
And they did nothing. Sorry.
I'm just saying, yeah, they did nothing, but I'm just saying it happened, right? So you got a lot of good teams. You got a lot of good teams in the NFC. You never know what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You never know what they're going to do. I said I don't believe in them, but you never know. They'll probably make the playoff. So it's very competitive. We got to see what's going to happen in the NFC South with Tampa Bay and possibly Atlanta with Penix being their starting quarterback this year. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, let us know what y'all think. Coach Hunter already told us. He said Colts Eagles Super Bowl. Of course, he is a Colts fan.
For whatever reason.
And he keeps up with it. You say for whatever reason, right? And I was thinking about it the other day. And you got these youngins that are Cowboys fans, right? And I was like, yo, they've never seen the Cowboys win. Like, they've never seen the Cowboys win. And unless you're from Dallas, like, how do you become a Cowboys fan when you've never seen them win? I don't know.
Because they're communist.
Okay. All right. Cool. I guess that worked. One last topic we're going to talk about. We'll just run through it real quick because it's not that big a deal. But I did want to talk about it real quick. The Sixers got the 3rd pick in this year's NBA draft. I want to go to the Hall of Famer and get his thoughts on that real quick. Hall of Famer Rob Battle. Your thoughts on the 3rd pick, and are the Sixers going to screw it up?
Going by history, they're going to screw it up. If they're smart, And I don't know if this deal is able to be made. But I'm packaging that third pickup with Paul George or Embiid or somebody and getting them out of there. Go get Giannis or something. I don't know.
Go get who?
Giannis.
Giannis. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. Here's my problem with what you said. And it's not what you think. It's not the Embiid thing. It's not what you think. I'm tired of the Sixers getting these older stars. Like they did it with Chris Webber. They did it with Chris Webber. They did it with James Harden. They did it with I'm forgetting, but they do it quite a bit, and it turns out to just not really be the move. Like they get them just after they were really good, right? Yeah. And I feel like Giannis is on the other side of his career right now. I mean, I do think he has good days left. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been out of the first round since they won the title.
You can give him another solid 3 years. He's 30 right now. Well, he'll be 31 this year in December.
He'll be 31 this year. So when the season starts, he'll be 30. And I don't know. Like we talk about the Sixers not getting out of the second round so much. Giannis has won a title, but he just hasn't gotten out of the first round since. I mean, and part of it, they got rid of one of his stars this year too. Man, I thought that was.
I don't know who else is out there. Of course, everybody knows the name Cooper Flag is the number one pick. I know there's a few other good players out there that their names escape me now. But I don't know, man. I don't. What do you do when you got Embiid and Paul George still there? Taking other, you bring somebody in, their growth is going to be stunted. You got Maxey, you got Paul George, you got Embiid, all need the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, I like the kid Jared McLean, even though he's a little different.
Good way to put it. Good, safe way to put it.
Well, I mean, he can hoop.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He can ball. He was the best rookie for about a month and a half, 2 months of the season.
And who's the other guy that we picked up at
Edwards?
No. Where'd he come from? Like the Spurs or something? Grimes.
Oh, Grimes. Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes,
tough. He's tough. I'm interested in seeing what kind of roles they play with healthy Embiid and Paul George, or I'm healthy, right? But here I'm going to say something, y'all. And this is it's not difficult for me to say, but it's difficult for me to believe that I'm saying it because I've never legitimately felt this way about sports, right? Dallas got the first pick. And I believe the fix was in. I honestly, true to my heart, believe the fix was in on this one. I really do. And I thought that as soon as it happened, I was on the phone with my homie. I was like, yo, I said, I think it was fixed. I said, I understand it now. It all makes sense to me now. When Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers, everybody and their mother was like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you trade him for basically nothing? Like, AD is a name, but I believe AD is one of the more overrated players in the league. But now I get it. There was a backdoor handshake deal. The NBA needs the Lakers to be relevant. They were on their way to irrelevancy and not making the playoffs. Luka Doncic came, things changed a bit, right? They traded him away because they said he was out of shape. That being said, handshake deal. Look, you trade Luka Doncic, we'll make sure you get that number one pick. they had the lowest chances of getting the number 1 pick. The lowest, 1.2%, 1.8%, something like that.
1.8.
First time in my life, I feel like it was fixed. Now I know it has been fixed in the past. I know the Patrick Ewing draft or lottery they found out was like fixed and all like that. I wasn't really into watching the lottery at that time. I was real young. I probably didn't even know it existed. But now I feel like this one was fixed. I really do. And I would like to get your guys' opinions on it if you have one, or anybody that's watching an opinion on it if they have an opinion on it. And I feel bad because I've never felt like that about sports for real. But this time, for real, I feel like it was fixed. You guys have any opinions on that?
I second that emotion.
Gotcha. Gotcha. We'll go ahead and move on real quick. Are you stumping me today?
Hell yeah.
Okay, I just saw in the notes that you are. But we have a couple things. Real quick before we get onto the dam, right? There's a movie coming out or a series or something, right, Miguel?
It's something. Once I saw it's something.
Here's what it is. Nicolas Cage as John Madden. There's a Madden movie coming out. So, it's crazy because it's like, all right, it's John Madden. He was kind of big. He ended up being bigger than the game of football, to be honest with you. But I don't feel like this was one that I was looking for. I'm sure, I maybe I just don't know his story, but this wasn't one that I was like really looking for. Like he won a Super Bowl as a coach, but from all accounts, a lot of people say he wasn't that great of a coach. He had great players, won to actually beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
He did not.
Oh, he wasn't the coach then?
That was Flores.
Flores, that's right.
Flores. He was the first Latino to win a Super Bowl.
You're absolutely right. Pardon me on that. Miguel, is this the movie we needed?
No.
So
I'm
you were prepared for that one.
And I posed the question about like movies that had like really good actors portrayed like really good athletes. Like I always think of 42. Like I can't think of anybody else who could have played Jackie Robinson in that role in 42, but Chadwick Boseman. You know what I mean? I thought Will Smith did a pretty good Muhammad Ali, although I've seen certain versions of Muhammad Ali better from certain actors in spurts. But it's like Nicolas Cage. Even looking at that, it's a stretch. I can kind of see Christian Bale as the Al Davis because of the stupid haircut. Like I can see that, and I think he can get away with it. But Nicolas Cage, to my knowledge, isn't a very big man, and John Madden was what, 6'6"? Like he was a huge dude. He was an offensive tackle for the Eagles back in the 60s before he became a coach. So it's like, I don't know if he can pull this off, but
well, I feel like Nicolas Cage is one of the better actors out there.
Really?
I do. I feel like he's actually, no, I just kind of said that for the sake of the show.
He's got 75 movies on every platform, including Tubi. Like
what I probably should have said was he's probably one of the more working actors out there. That's kind of what I really meant. He's one of the more working actors out there. I haven't really consumed a lot of his movies to say he's a good actor, to be honest with you. I can't even really think of a Nicolas Cage movie that I've actually watched, even though I know I have. Like, there's that one Face Off.
Face Off. There was
like I didn't really watch that movie. Like, that was so stupid to me. It was dumb to me.
It kind of
was like prom night when I was watching it, so I really didn't care.
Oh yeah, you were getting laid, but
I wasn't. But you know,
well, I mean, you're married now, so you can't say that. But I mean, he did like what, that National Treasure movie, which is a pretty good concept.
I didn't watch. I didn't see that either.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second or the third one.
I didn't even know there was a sequel. See, there you go. So yeah, I feel like there was a movie that I did watch that I liked him in, but we ain't need that movie. Rob, you still with us? It looked like you're frozen. I don't know. It looked like you're frozen or about to sneeze. I'm not really sure. Okay, I think he's frozen. Yep, he's definitely up. There he goes. All right, so we have a couple of dams for you.
Okay. So the dams are I put damn dummies. So it's kind of a mosh of this. Yeah.
Hey, we got okay. I like it. So here's our first damn dummy. Oh, see that joint gets ruined every time.
Hey, cuz, go ahead and slide in the house and change. Patty Otis, Cornelius Backyard Borough, Northwestern State University, Forkham Demons.
We'll go ahead and watch that one more again. Here we go.
Hey, cuz, go ahead and slide in the house and change. Patty Otis, Cornelius Backyard Borough, Northwestern State University, Forkham Demons.
Yo, I just peeped what the name was. I didn't even think Patty Otis, Cornelius Backyard. Yo, that's a good one. I like that. That's a good one. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, hold on. I forgot to give him this.
I didn't think you heard. There you go. I don't think you heard this one, but this one you can see and hear.
All right, here we go. Hold on, let's start it over.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the bus. They don't need you, cuz. Hi, Sean Jump Maine Matthews, University of Colorado. Go bus.
Yo, but hold up. But the funniest part of this is the words at the top. Go sit on the bus too long.
Yeah, go ahead and go to the bus. They don't need you, cuz. Hi, Sean Jump Maine Matthews, University of Colorado. Go bus.
All right. Whew. Okay. Okay. All right. So, hold on. What is this you put in here with the fanatic? What is that? Am I putting that into?
That's my final words for the night. Like how I did the final word. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So now it's time for that part of the show where Miguel stumps me.
Oh yeah. Almost forgot about
that. And he says in this one, I will lose this one. But he's going to stump me. So for those that may not be familiar with this part of the show where Miguel, he picks a random player from throughout sports, gives me the jersey number and the teams that they played for with that jersey and maybe some accomplishments. And as I'm looking at it now, I already see I'm probably not going to get it. He has one accomplishment. This guy's one like accomplishment and a whole bunch of teams or 6 teams. And I'm supposed to guess who this person is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the comments to make sure I don't, because somebody will guess it. 97 World Series, that was the Marlins, correct?
Ooh, good one, yeah.
So the teams are, of course, the Phillies and Marlins. I see that.
Mm-hmm.
The first, Cleveland?
No, and you know what sucks about that color combination? It's like it could be 12 teams.
Right. That's why, yeah. And every time I pick somebody else, it's usually Cleveland. That's why I went Cleveland first. But
close. It's actually Minnesota.
Okay, so Minnesota. Is that Dodgers?
Not yet.
Okay, Royals?
Yes. Both
okay, so you got Twins, Royals, Dodgers.
Well, Twins, Royals. It's one of those switch numbers, multi numbers. Yeah.
You were 8 with the Phillies and 8 with the Marlins, and then we're number 12 with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
and he won the 1997 World Series with the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
So the only player that I know of, and I don't think this is correct, but the only player that I know of off the top of my head, nope, I'm switching it. Jim Eisenreich.
Nice.
Woo! See, because
Very nice, sir.
Me in that one, but we already had Darren Dalton. I think last week, right? A couple weeks ago.
No, it was a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. And I forgot Jim Eisenreich went from yeah, man. I don't know how that. I don't know. Because first of all, I'd never heard of Jim Eisenreich until he played for the Phillies. To be honest with you, I mean, I was a youngin' then. So I didn't know he played for the Dodgers and the Royals, the Royals, the Twins, and twice for the Royals. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know he played for the Royals and the Twins. I never heard of him until he played for the Phillies, and then I remember him playing for the Marlins. And there was two players, of course, that went from the Phillies to the Marlins that won the World Series on that team. It was Jim Eisenreich and Darren Dalton. Yep. That might be like the quickest I got one that I was just kind of like lucky. Like other times it's like, oh, I know who this is. Boom. But this one I just got kind of lucky. I got the Joe Table one a couple weeks ago pretty quick. But this one, I'm actually proud of this because this one was like clicked. It was like I used deductive reasoning on it.
And used a big word, all sugar.
Yeah, man. I'm smart. I am so smart. SMRT. That is
I don't think I'm smart.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. But Miguel has some final words with a video with a video.
It's just a simple way of just having fun, saying goodnight, and ending on a very nice note. That's all it is.
All right, well, here we go. Here's Miguel's final words while we get ready to get up out of here. Gotta love the Philly fanatic. Gotta love the Philly fanatic. That's my guy. That's my guy. And look here, and I want to say this. So, the Philly fanatic looks weird. We all know this. And Gritty looks weird. We all know this. I'm just gonna let people know this right now. People always have something to say about the fanatic. But they have a whole lot to say about Gritty, right? More so Gritty than the fanatic. People from Philly love the fanatic. I think people from Philly have learned to love Gritty, right? But if you are not from Philadelphia and you decide to talk about Gritty or the fanatic in front of a Philadelphian, be careful. We don't play about our fanatic and our Gritty. I'll just tell you that right now. You might can talk about Franklin, the Sixers mascot, because I don't really even think people even know who Franklin is, to be honest with you. But the fanatic and Gritty, you better watch out. And Swoop, we don't play about Swoop either. Swoop. We don't play about Swoop. The snake from the Union, I don't even know what his name is, but so you could talk about him, and I probably wouldn't know.
They need to bring back the Iverson 76ers mascot. What was his name?
Who was that? What was his name? Big Shot? No, that's not Big Shot. That was before Iverson. Oh, the Rabbit, Hip Hop.
Hip Hop, yes, they got to bring back Hip Hop.
That was a dope mascot.
I never knew why they got rid of him, other than the fact that they didn't want to associate him with. He was good. I thought he was good.
I thought he was dope. But look, we appreciate y'all hanging with us here on the Check Swing Podcast with myself and of course the brains and brawn of the situation, Coach Santa, and of course Rob Battle, Hall of Famer, who had to drop off a little early. But we're gonna get up out of here. We'll talk to y'all next week right here on the Check Swing Podcast. We love y'all. We'll check y'all next week. Peace.